Okay, folks, it's been a while since I did a video, and the whole point of me doing this series is showing you guys how um, how this tank has done, and it's now on year two. Um, we're right here near the point to where I sort of wanted to show you how long a dirt tank lasts. And as you can see, it's still going. The plants, if you've seen my earlier videos, this tank was almost taken over by plant growth. As you can see down here in the bottom, everything across the bottom has shrunk to this little patch right here, and that's what we've gotten left. The tank has become increasingly hard to balance as the soil has lost its nutrients. I will say that I'm having fights with algae. My red plants are basically, as you can see, they're not doing too well. They're growing really slow. These things, when I first put these things in last year, these things took over and just grew like they were growing like an inch a day. It was incredible. My swords, as you can tell, look how they've sort of shrank, and they're still shrinking. The leaves are about 1/4 the size they were when I first planted them. And they are producing new growth still. However, that growth is much smaller, and the swords are getting smaller and smaller each month that goes by. These plants down here at the bottom are looking really rough, and these red plants, they've always sort of struggled because of not getting the correct amount of light, but where they're at in the tank, they're also struggling because of lack of nutrients now. So as you can see, the tank still looks good. People come in and they go, hey, that looks amazing. However, if you've been following this video and you've watched some of the earlier stuff, you will know how much plant growth I've lost and how much plant load I've lost. And me telling you about balance issues should also be concerning. As you can see, I need to go in and trim. It's just, right now, I'm not happy with the tank. There's a lot of, I'm having let me see if I can show you what I'm talking about. You can see the algae right there, the black hair algae. And, that stuff is just annoying, and I just can't get rid of it. Maybe I could fertilize a little bit. I have fertilized this tank, and I think it's made the soil last longer. And I might try to do a little bit more, because I just do not really care to mess with this substrate. I wish I could, fertilize it. It's just not the same. It's turning into basically like a substrate that I would buy from a store, honestly. It's something that now requires dosing. It's now something that requires, after 2 years, and I would say after year one, you really see the tank really start to drop. I would say the first 6 months, your tank needs extra. I mean, it needs all the plants it can get in it, in the dirty tank setup like I did. It needs all the plants it can get to soak up the excess nutrients. And there's some water sprite, and I showed you guys the plants I used in earlier videos to do that. Now, there's a part of me right now that's debating within this weekend or maybe next weekend, should I tear this tank down and just go ahead and redirt it and start sort of over. And I'm debating it. It's to do that, and I'm sitting on a big hill. I've got a pool in the back of my house. Where am I going to run all this dirt? And, is my wife going to kill me? I've got all these fish to worry about too. There's some things I have to worry about. First, if I do that this weekend, or if I do that over the weekend or next weekend, I need to make a plan. I got a 20-gallon tank, and I can put these fish in. The fish are going to have to stay in that 20-gallon tank for a period of time. Let me tell you why. First, when I put the new potting soil in, it's going to create an ammonia spike. It's going to have compost in it. That compost is going to create ammonia. Now, the good thing is since this is an established tank, I still have my biomedia, and I have a lot of it. I'm over filtering this tank. So hopefully that I can switch these filters on that tank, and I can really start decreasing that bio load. Probably going to keep the canister filter on this tank since it moves the most water. So that's the first thing. Second, when I do the dirty tank this time, I am going to do it in a way where I'm going to put clay in the bottom of the tank. The very bottom of the tank will have clay. Then I'm going to put potting soil, and then I'm going to put a cap on it. I really like the black diamond sand that you see right here. It's cheap. For 50 pounds, it's $8. So I'm going to basically, for this entire setup, guys, you're looking right at about $16 to redo it. The cost is not the problem. It's the time. It's also, you know, my wife's going to be sitting here and she's going to see this other tank sitting sort of over here. I've got a level there because I leveled, just make sure everything's level. I'm going to re-level my tank. That's why it's sitting there if I do this. But I'm going to have to put the tank right there. I'm going to put the 20-gallon right there on the floor. I got to make sure it doesn't leak. So that's one of the other things I got to do. And then I've got to transfer these fish into the 20-gallon. Now, the one good thing is I haven't added fish now for over a year. And so, you know, so my fish population has dwindled over the year. If you've noticed, I started out with 6 angelfish. I've got 2 left from 2 years. In 2 years, I've lost my angelfish. The good thing is my rainbows here, which are now 2 years old, they're still doing fine. I've lost 1 rainbow over 2 years. The neons, which I love neons because they tell me just how bad my water quality is, really. My neons right here, I'm still, even though I started out with 15, after 2 years, I'm still sitting with about 7. So I've lost half of them over the year. You don't even know when you lose them. Another thing is I've also got a ton of assassin snails in this tank, which actually are bottom feeders at this point. I have no snails. I don't worry about snails because I have assassin snails, which kill all the snails once I get them. But they also are great bottom feeders. And if I could show you guys one of them, I've got so many of them. They like to burrow down in the sand. Yeah, I can't find any. They like to burrow down in the sand, and they come out if like I had one of my rainbows died, and I'm gonna tell you that they just swarmed it. It was like something from a horror movie. I mean, they just came up out of the ground, and they were just covered, and they're pretty snails too, but they are meat-eating snails. So, and they feed off the bottom. So if you have extra food that falls down, they do a pretty good job of keeping it clean. But, you know, the species that I have in my tank right now, yep, I've got actually 8 neons. So I've lost about half my neons in 2 years, and that's not bad. My tetras right here, I've not lost any of those. My banded fish right here, these are 5-band fish. I've lost none of those. The rainbow fish I love, and I'm probably going to stock them more. These guys are 2 years old, and I'm not sure how long they live, but these guys are getting pretty old. So, and this guy right here is kind of turned aggressive. He's a barb, and he is, you can tell he is an adult. You can tell by the way he looks. He has reached full maturity growth. He sort of beat up on my neon barbs. And I love the neon barbs, and I'm probably going to reintroduce those in here when I finish doing this. And in fact, I might school them. I really like those fish. They were really pretty. So if I do this, guys, over the week, I'll let you know. I really am not looking forward to it. Part of me wants to, part of me doesn't. The part of me that wants to do it wants to see these plants just go crazy again and restock my tank. And I really don't want to lose my fish. So I'm gonna have to keep them in a 20-gallon, and it's going to make the house look kind of bad because I mean, you're gonna have a 20-gallon tank sitting right here on the floor. I'm gonna have to have all those plants in there, and the fish aren't gonna have a lot of room with all these plants. I might have to tie them up. These lights right here, I'll have to tie them up initially. Then I can put the fish back into the tank. I mean, the plants back into the tank once I set it up. So when I do it, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a video. And I'm going to show you guys exactly how I dirt this and how I did it. Guys, I think dirting is the best substrate. If you want to see your plants just go wild and crazy, and you want to do it in a way where it's going to be enjoyable, dirt is the way to go. I have used EcoComplete. EcoComplete doesn't even touch this, this setup. Yes, EcoComplete, I could be dosing it probably right now and messing with chemicals all day, or not all day, but, trying to get the chemicals right. Guys, this is like maintenance free when you get this in. If I redo it, I'll show you exactly what I do. When I first reintroduce the plants, I know the load is going to be loaded with material. So I will go to a pet store. I'll get Water Sprite or something like that will just grow crazy. And that's my dog playing with her toy right here. And she's activated the birthday. It was her birthday a couple weeks ago, so she's a little, you'll hear her. That's what that is. It's sort of freaking her out. But anyway, I'll let you guys know. Let me know what you think. If you want me to do this, I will do this. I do have more time because during the coronavirus, and I am teaching, but it is, it is actually more work, but I'm at home doing the work, so I can do this a little bit easier. So guys, give me a, let me know what you think, and I will, I might do this. I might just throw some fertilizer in there, some dose it or something, and just keep it going like this. The only thing that I dislike about it right now, like I said before I go, is I hate the black algae that's broken out, and I hate the way that looks. Look at that. It looks horrible. And I've tried several things. I have taken that out right there, and I've sprayed peroxide on it, and it still doesn't kill it. So I'm like, I want to get rid of the stuff, and if I do, I'm going to trim these plants way back, throw them in the tank, and we'll start all over. Talk to you guys later. Bye.